Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer. This is Metatron speaking. I have Oliver here with me today. Hopefully he's gonna be good. I don't know, that might be too hard for him. Oliver's my orange fluffy cat in case you don't know. So I was asking to channel one of my guides the other day, and instead my shoulders went up and my head went up, and it was Ra who wanted me to look at him, and it was him signaling to me that he wanted to talk to me instead. So I was like, okay. So he says to me, "What do you want to know?" And I hesitated because the last time I was kind of asked that question was by Sai the Martian, um, who was actually devil energy. Even though this interaction felt different, it didn't feel like someone that I shouldn't be talking to. But I was still like, Ra, let me feel your energy. I was like, prove you're you. Let me feel you. Um, so he comes close to me, and I could feel like flames, like golden flames. And I can see he has the head of a falcon and he's got the body of a man, but he's all gold, and the flames are coming off of like every single part of his body, and the flames are gold, and the flames are almost like slow motion coming off of him. And I feel love and tenderness. Not as much as Metatron, because Metatron's like the ultimate. um, but almost. So Ra has darkness too, so that's why he feels different than Metatron. Um, so I know it's Ra that I'm talking to. When I originally started talking to Ra, like the first time I saw him, he actually showed up to me as a man, but like as a 3D like Egyptian man. Um, and he was wearing like what looked like a falcon helmet, basically. It was like this falcon thing over like a real man, right? Looks like a costume, basically. And I was like, can you take off the falcon head? I can't take you seriously like this. I need to know who's underneath this thing. And so he took it off, and he just looks like an Egyptian man to me, but he looks like he's got like the brown skin, he's got like black hair, and he's got like black makeup kind of smudged under his eyes. And so maybe a couple weeks ago, I asked to see him or talk to him or something, and all of a sudden I just saw this like ball of fire. It's kind of oval shaped, but it was like rolling fire in this shape that was just kind of hovering in the air. And at first I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I was like, "Oh, that's kind of like the Bible. That's kind of like that when God appears in the Bible, he's like the burning bush." Um or I think he also has a variation of himself appear to like Moses, that leads those people through the desert. Um, and so both times it's like fire. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's like biblical. And then I was like, wait. I was like, I'm pretty sure the people who, because I think this is me getting all my Bible stories all mixed up or whatever, but I think uh, Moses went to like the top of a mountain and like talked to God, and he like channeled, well, supposedly channeled, I don't know, I haven't verified this, supposedly channeled the Ten Commandments. But I remember he had seen God, and so he had like aged like 50 years or 100 years or something crazy by the time he got back down the mountain. And so I was like telling Metatron, I was like, hey, don't let me age like 100 years, okay? He was like laughing at me. He's like, you're fine. Um, I lost my place in my notes because I'm laughing too much about stuff. I really lost my place in my notes. I'm in like the wrong section entirely. Okay, here we go. No, actually, this isn't it either. There we go. Okay, so I'd seen him as like the ball of flames, And then a little bit after that, he had appeared to me just like he did this last time, where um, he's like gold. He's like gold. He's like ethereal. It doesn't look the same as like a 3D solid human. It it's like a godlike vibe, for lack of being able to explain it any better. Um, so then, you know, so I'm like, hey, Bra, show me your energy. So he comes up and he feels like flames, and I can see him as he looks, and I can feel him as he feels. And so I'm like, okay, it's Ra. So he changes into being a human, so like a solid version of himself. No flames, brown skin, no shirt, and this is how he normally looks to me, is no shirt. Um, and of course, and this is, I'm pretty sure this is for all gods. I don't think I've ever seen a god with their shirt. No, 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 no. Odin always has a shirt on. Now that I think about it, um, now he's joking with me. I'm gonna ignore him. He always has a shirt on, but most gods are like always like shirtless and like super muscular, and I think it's just part of the territory. Anyways, so he's got like this bunch of grapes, and he's like plucking them off and like eating them, and he's still kind of freaking me out because I was like, he's being very casual. He doesn't normally do this. And this kind of reminds me of Cy the Martian with his like martini, just like leaning back, drinking it. So he's totally like triggering me to like question myself. But I was like, no, I felt his energy. So we're good. And so I asked him, I was like, technically you're Cy the Martian, right? And he's like, yeah, because he's God. He's everything. He's dark and he's light. Um, and so I was like, but it's like Cy the Martian and Metatron combined. And he's like, yeah. And I said, but you block most of your darkness when we speak. And he said, yes. And now he's tapping into his loving side. He says, yes, I love you. I don't want those parts to hurt you. And then he's feeding me information because I say, your consciousness allows you to choose what you want instead of being controlled by your emotions. So he's feeding me those answers, and he smiles at me because it's like, I mean, how weird is that? If you're like God, you're like, so I know what the answer is, so I'm just going to give it over to this human over here, and then they're going to say it to me, and then I'm just going to smile at them. Like, that has to be weird. Anyways, Ra says, consciousness is power. Tell me what you want to know. So when he says, tell me what you want to know, he actually said it. It's hard to explain. He said it in a way where I felt tenderness from him. I felt concern from him. I felt um, almost like parental energy from him. He says it with concern and interest in his voice, like he wants to know so he can give it to me. I hesitate because now I started feeling like, I mean, you're talking to God, right? I feel like I rubbed a genie's lamp and now I'm going to get a wish granted. And so I'm like, man, I better not blow this up. I better not make the wrong choice. And so I said, when I tell you what I want, will you like modify it to make sure it's for my best and highest interests? Or are you just going to be super literal with it? And so he was at a distance from me. So he walks closer to me, stands a few feet from me, and he feels like Jesus. Like I can feel that compassion energy from him. And his eyes are just like the most fascinating thing. His eyes never, the color part of his eyes never stops moving. The color changes. And it always looks like it's like an ocean or like a vortex. Like it always looks like the colors are moving. Um, he says, I ask because I want to give you a gift. And then he gives me information. And so I'm thinking of like a Bible verse now. And it's from the book of Matthew. And it says, ask and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks, the door will be opened. And so I turned to him and I was like, so you really said that? And he says, yes, because I know a lot of what's in the Bible is not true, but there are lots of times where he's pointing out, no, this is a thing. This is the truth right here. So he says he really said that. And then he still is giving me knowing. So I said, your offer isn't to me alone. This is to everyone. And he smiled at me. And so that's the end of the interaction with him. But basically, to all of us, he's saying, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks, the door will be opened. So he's saying to all of us, what do you want to know? What do you want? I'm asking you because I want to give you a gift. So reach out to Ra, reach out to God, reach out to Creator, reach out to whatever definition, whatever personality of that energy resonates with you, and tell them what it is you want, what it is you're trying to build, what it is you need help with, because he wants that connection with us so badly and he wants to participate. Look at me. I'm like, hey, which guide wants to like channel something with me? And he's like, me, pick me. Like, I want to talk to you. And so sometimes we get so lost in all the personalities and all the gods and goddesses and all the whoever, all the archangels, all the ascended masters, that we don't reach out directly to Creator, and he still wants to be, he said Ra in my ear, Ra. Ra. Okay. We don't reach out to Ra because he still wants to be, he badly wants to be involved. He adores us. So just a reminder for everyone, maybe a challenge. I don't know. But yeah. So, and I was asking him, so is this like, should we ask like for everything we want, like a list? He's like, no, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. He's like, ask for the one thing and let's see how you handle the one thing. And then we'll go to the next thing. Because he doesn't, it's funny, you can ask for something and you feel like it's going to be like wrapped in a package and he's just going to hand it to you. But that's not how it's going to be. It's going to be a process to obtain what you just asked for. It's going to be hard work on your side, but it's like this guaranteed ending from him. It's like, yes, you can have this. You need to take these 12 steps and then you'll get to this thing. And so that's why he's saying one at a time. Get to your thing and then you can ask for something else. So this is what I have for you guys today. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.